Welcome, Moon Griffon Show on the road again in beautiful Bossier City. Of course, Bossier, Shreveport, in conjunction with our good friends at Kill Radio and Town Square Media. We do appreciate them. We are on the road. We are at Amark Metals. Amark Metals is located in Bossier City. They're having a big deal today. You're welcome to come on out. They got door prizes they're going to give away. Brandon, by the way, it's just feedback right in my ears. I don't know what you changed, but it's coming back in my ears. Anyway, AmarkMetals.com. I got a gentleman right here, Mr. Michael Clark, who's getting ready to talk with us. Okay, I think he just fixed it. Michael Clark works for this company. His company, I think, is 10 years old. I think in your 10th year of business. Folks, you know me. I've been doing this for 25 years, and one of the best things I get to do is promote Louisiana companies. And we've enjoyed really going around the state and promoting companies like this company. And Michael Clark has been with the company a while. Mike, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Well, you don't look as nervous as Cat. You want to sing the national anthem? Did y'all transfer?
No, everybody will tune off.
Talk a little about the company, because it is and I hear advertisement of other companies, but you guys have been here for 10 years, so that means y'all heading in the right direction with our economy the way it is in Louisiana sometimes. But what all do y'all do? Let's talk about things that y'all do here at Amark Metals.
Do a little bit of everything. We started off small, over off of I-20. Everybody's pretty familiar with that. Steadily growing. Like you said, been here for 10 years. We do pre-engineered bolt-together buildings. We do weld-together buildings. We do buildings in your backyard. We supply all the materials. We are a metal roofing manufacturer. All your roofing materials, staining, seam, regular metal, 29 gauge, 26 gauge, all your red iron for your contractors who are putting up these buildings. Even we have a new premier product called Crinkle Finish, which is a new, fresh off the market finish. Right now, we're promoting that at $263 a linear foot, which is the same price as our regular 29 gauge metal. This is, like I said, a premier product, 40-year paint warranty, top of the line. Now,
material. One of the things I want people to understand, y'all do commercial, but y'all also do commercial, people in the back of the yard, back of their house, and things like that. So you do actually both.
Yes, sir.
So so nothing's too big, nothing's too small for you guys?
Correct.
I see some of these metal buildings all around us. I mean, these big metal buildings. You can handle a big warehouse and things of that nature, because I know price-wise, this is the way to go in a lot of things.
Yes, sir. We even have a lot of people coming in, and more and more people starting to convert to turning these metal buildings into homes. We're starting to do a lot more of those. Very cost-effective.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If people want to add on to the house, maybe put a garage in the back, things of that nature. But for industrial people that are looking, in these big industrial buildings, I'm in them all the time because I'm in these companies. I noticed a lot of them have gone to metal. They can make them bigger because of cost. I think there's a cost factor into it.
Right. Once you get that big, metal is the way to go. Commercial, industrial, the whole 9 yards. We don't actually install the projects. We're not a construction company. We have contractors who buy from us repeatedly, who we can highly recommend those contractors. If you've got your own contractor, come in, sit down with us.
So y'all basically sell all the metal.
Yeah.
And then you have people who go right. Put it together. That's not what y'all do, but you can help people if you need to.
Yes, we can point them in the right direction.
Now, y'all cover, but you can cover, like, I know in the state of Louisiana, y'all work multiple states, just Louisiana?
Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, does not matter. We're here for you.
Okay, and by the way, let me make sure, AmarkMetals.com, on your website, they can find out everything about y'all, everything y'all do, how to get in touch with y'all.
Everything we do, we're steadily getting bigger and growing. Website's going to be improving over the next couple of months. But, yeah, they can get the total rundown right there. We even got color charts on there where they can sit on the computer, pick out their color, then come in and see us.
Okay. I'm ask this question. What's the turnaround on a job? Somebody calls y'all and let's say it's for residential. Somebody needs something built off their house or whatever. What kind of turnaround they have for shipping stuff, getting it to them, and things of that nature?
24 to 48 hours. 48 hours being a long time. We can normally have stuff next day.
Now, let me warn somebody. 48 hours to get the material, not 48 hours to have it built.
Correct.
Somebody's listening. Well, I can see somebody call, you on Moon Show, and the man said 48 hours they have this building. But that is not what you said.
No.
You said we can get the equipment and the metal and everything to them, but you'd have to get a contractor. Like I said, you can help them with that if you need to.
Yeah, we can have your stuff next day. We try to be as quick and as efficient as possible, but at 2 days at the most, we'll get you taken care of.
And that's pretty much any side that's residential.
That's going to be your metal roofing, your sheets, your metal part of it. Now the weld together buildings, 2 to 3 days at the most. Your engineered bolt together
that's
buildings.
Still pretty good.
Engineered bolt together buildings, we're looking 2 to 3 weeks, as everybody else in the industry is about 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But 2 to 3 days is great. 2 to 3 weeks on something really big is really great to have everything there. Now, once again, what it took, Jesus built it. It took him 6 days, rested on the seventh, right? I think that I want to make sure we get it straight. You're not going to have the building built, but you have everything that you need to build the building.
Yes, sir.
So that makes it kind of neat. All right, amarkmetals.com. We'll be here for 2 hours. Let's mention a couple other things before I let you go. I do have Representative Dodie Horton's going to be here. We're going to talk about that, the big deal with Christfish Gym on Benton football field. We got the gentleman here who's going to be back with us and visit. Alan Seabaugh is going to stick his head in here a little later. So we're going to do all that as the program unfolds, and looking forward to it, to visiting with them. Website, everything people need. Talk about what we're doing today, though, because you do have anybody that comes by, you're going to register them. Y'all want to give away something about every 15 minutes, but people have to come by to register.
Right. Anybody that comes by, put your name in the hat. We're drawing every 15 minutes for giveaways. We got specials on all of our products for contractors, for everyday guys that come in. Come take advantage of the specials we're offering today. And once again, I'm going to push that crinkle metal, man. It is a premier product. You won't find it at this price anywhere else in the state or probably the next 2 states over.
All right, come register, giving away stuff. I know they got food and drink and all that stuff for them as well. Yeah. So you're welcome off the road. Just pull in, say hi, register if you want to. If you win, they'd be glad to call you. That's pretty simple.
Come see us. Swamp Daddy's cooking some fish and shrimp. It's going to be a good time.
What time that is? What time we eat?
11 to 1.
God, get off at 11. I don't mind eating 11 to 1.
There you go.
If you talk from 9 to 11, you eat from 11 to 1. That's probably pretty cool. All right, folks, Amark Metals, give out the location exactly where you're located.
3853 Industrial Circle, 318-752-6600. Come see us.
All right, that's pretty simple. amarkmetals.com. This gentleman over here we needed to talk to, but he don't want to come talk to me about tariffs. But I'm not going to throw you on the spot like I did Kat, what she was supposed to sing, but interesting to get angles from everybody. So, anyway, tell you what we do, Brandon. Let's take an early break. We'll come back with Representative Dodie Horton. We are at Amark Metals, amarkmetals.com. This is one of those Louisiana businesses we love to brag about on this program, and we are right now because if you got a need, you got a metal need, owe it to yourself to pick up the phone and call them. I will give you their number. I hope this is right. 318 is the area code, 752-6600, 318-752-6600, amarkmetals.com. Pretty simple. One of those great Louisiana companies we like to brag about. All right, let's take our first break. Representative Dodie Horton, we'll talk to her. There's surplus money all over the place. At least she didn't vote for no new taxes. All right, we'll do that, and, of course, we're going to talk about Christfish Gym and the Benton and what's going on. It's a big deal what's happening up here, and you need to know about it. So we'll take a break, be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Oh, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show on the road again in beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, in conjunction with our friends at Kill Radio. We're at Amark Metals, amarkmetals.com, a great Louisiana company. Let's jump gears. We got Representative Dodie Horton, who I don't get to visit with much, but I am getting to visit with today. Dodie, how you doing?
Doing great. It's an honor to be here with you. Glad you're here in my district.
Well, it's no doubt. It's a lot of fun. Hey, by the way, I got Perkins' number. Throwing that off. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but the people sitting here do. I noticed that, Schroeder announced on my program Friday, and he just was getting the numbers, so we got it first, that they're looking at a $300 or $400 million deficit. The governor don't want him out there saying that right now, and I don't understand that why, because said he didn't have the official numbers, but Mr. Schroeder's already saying that, so if it's $300 or $400 million, and then the internet sales tax kicks in at all, that's a lot of extra money that the state's going to be getting. Just your thoughts and comment on it. I know you didn't vote for any of it. By the way, thank you for not voting for it because state has too much money. It's too big already.
Absolutely is. We just need to learn to live within our means. You have budget reform, Medicaid reform with Medicaid expansion, 1.7 million people on that with very little accountability. It's going to be unsustainable.
Yeah, and that's what frustrates me on that. I'm all for helping poor people.
Oh, absolutely.
But what we did with that, we helped people that were on insurance, decided they can get that was a better deal. And there's a lot of that going on that probably doesn't even qualify. But if the governor is so positive and passionate about Medicaid reform, why isn't he passionate about making sure we do it right? That's all. I believe that's what all y'all saying is let's check and see if there's some fraud and things of that nature.
Right. We had a health and welfare meeting yesterday, and I was pleased to hear when I asked a question about the to Jan Steele that 30 states use federal or state or both income tax returns or W-2s to compare applications for Medicaid to make sure they truly qualify. And so why does not Louisiana? And she said that they plan on adopting that policy next summer. And so I hope that comes to fruition, because we must make sure we're helping the people who really need it. But the surplus, a lot of us knew that we would get it. In fact, I think a lot of people who voted for the tax and pushed keeping part of that fifth penny on there knew it as well. That's what's so disappointing. We held strong until the end of the coming to close on the third special session, which made no sense to me. If you're going to vote for keeping...
I didn't understand that.
Why go 3 sessions? Just do it right away. If you're going to stand with the governor and put more burden on the tax-paying citizens of Louisiana than what we need to, do it right away.
That was my frustration, too. You go through a special session, you go through a regular session, you go through a special session, you go through a special session. All the giving at the end.
Right.
You know, I'm going to bring in a guy in a minute. You can't give in at the end. If you say, I'm going to fight to the death, you fight to the death. I don't mean that physically, but I mean you fight to the death spiritually. You fight to the death when you believe in something. And my frustration, as you know, I'm not a Republican because of that, because there's too many in the party that give in. And I watched them do it again.
Right.
You got all the Democrats. We know how they're going to vote. But when it comes to the Republicans, they run, they win. They went on a certain set of principles, and those principles die every single time, it seems like. And that was my frustration with the had to be for y'all, too. Now, you can't say what I'm saying because you're a Republican. You got friends that you didn't agree with how they voted.
Right.
But you can't fight them like I can. But I can fight them because I think that's what's hurting us. So the governor wins everything he wants,
Absolutely.
and they don't fix anything. Now, you came in here and you had something pretty interesting about a deficit.
Yes, I was... a fellow legislator shared with me a printout that the administration had given them, a projection for the next 5 years, and it shows that they project a deficit in fiscal year 1920 to over $333 million. Isn't that amazing? So that shows you will have that if you do not strategically budget, if you don't prioritize your budget and change the way Louisiana governs. Our government is growing, but our private sector is shrinking. And government doesn't support government. Private sector does.
Absolutely.
So it's.
By the way, I just add a little fire to that. My friend from PAR, he said that we'll have $1 billion deficit by 2020. So if you've increased taxes, you hadn't changed the way you operated,
right.
How can you expect different results?
You can't, and that's why I didn't want to be elected to go to Baton Rouge to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's changed. I mean, it's literally going to be just like it was. See, I'm also, and you probably can't prove this, but I'm convinced we never had a $2 billion deficit. When Edwards and Vitter and all those guys were running for governor, they were talking about an $800 million deficit. Go back and look at the paper and the press clippings. The governor wins and gets in. He says, well, it's going to be closer to $1 billion. And it was 1.2, then it was 1.4. And all of a sudden, it's $2 billion. Put out of thin air. I'm convinced. They can't show you a $2 billion deficit. But here's going to be the headlines next year in the governor's race. Governor takes $2 billion deficit to a surplus.
Correct.
You never had a $2 billion. But in fact, when he explained one time the way they fixed it was they said they cut $600 million out the budget. Now, I've been asking for those numbers. I know my friends at Keel have been asking for those numbers. I heard y'all been asking for. Where did you cut $600 million and nobody's ever shown? Because when they were going to cut, I had people from the hospital, from the nursing homes. Everybody said they were going to get their budgets cut, which they didn't get cut. And yet they cut $600 million. Nobody complained. Nobody said a word.
Not a word. Nobody was crying or screaming.
Nobody was going to be thrown out in the streets.
No,
how can you cut it just cut it like that again and let us see where you cut? But the fact of the matter is that's just putting information out that's not true. I call it lying. Some people don't like to use that term. I'm calling it what it is. It's a big fat lie to go out there and tell people you did something you didn't do.
Well, it's just like, the narrative for the administration is that we are number 2 in business-friendly states, and Forbes has us at number 40th. I don't know how we can be when we put a greater burden on our business and industry.
There's a lot of business, those magazines and stuff that put out. It's got us 47th, 48th, and 49th. The problem is, since 2004, you've had an economy running half as much as the state government's growth. The GDP has been half of what state government has grown percentage-wise.
Correct.
That's why we've got an out-migration problem. I mean, y'all live in a great area. I loved it up here when I lived up here. But it's so easy to go across the Texas line for people, and that's a shame. But a lot of people have done that.
They have done that. They have a migration. I mean, I was told we've lost 85,000 oil and gas jobs because of the legacy lawsuit threat.
Yes, that's not helping us at all.
It doesn't help us at all, no. And so it's very disheartening to me.
No, it is, and it doesn't need to be that way.
But I knew I stood on solid ground that we did not need to keep any part of that fifth penny. In fact, why don't we give all the citizens a raise and, we don't need it anymore. Let's take it back. I know you're going to see legislation filed to do just that.
But, by the way, Bob Mann, who was he's been a leftist sycophant. He was a John Broke guy. Bob Mann wrote a tweet the other day. He said, what happened to my big tax break? I mean, he was really cutting Trump. And I thought it was hilarious. Trump gave us, the state of Louisiana, $352 million income tax break that was coming back. And we got it one day. And then the governor and them intercepted it. And they took that money because of the way we filed taxes. The state got $352 million in extra money, income taxes, that the people in Louisiana didn't feel it because the state took it. Mm-hmm. And he was complaining, where was his at? I thought, call the governor. Call the governor and ask him what he did with the $352 million. Because, as you know, part of the budget process, not only did they raise $495 million, whatever it was, on the sales tax, they got the $352 on top of that.
Absolutely.
So and it's not like they're hurting for money.
No, and we knew that oil and gas production would be up, so that figure should be greater. And so it's in the more, business, we're the only southern state that charge any type of utility tax for industry, and so that's going to bring in a lot of money, and so which does hurt. It's like a double taxation on our refineries, and industry that use those utilities. So it's tough. It's a tough time, and it just hurts me for our citizens that are to have to pay more. You cannot balance the budget on the backs of hardworking people because they break.
Yeah, there's nobody anxious. Anxious is not the right word. There's nobody with any fire in their rear ends to change what we're doing here. We need businesses like this survive because they work their fannies off.
Absolutely, and they just take what they're given and they make it work. Well, the state has to live within its means and support our small business and industry. I'm tired of taking, and they get nothing back.
Oh, welcome back, Griffon Show. On the road again, beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, in conjunction with our good friends at Kill Radio. We are at Amark Metals. We'll be at Amark Metals till about 11 o'clock, broadcasting today. Amark Metals, 318-752-6600. Go to amarkmetals.com for any kind of, folks, I don't care if it's behind your house, if it's an industrial building. This is one of those great Louisiana companies we brag about. They're using Louisiana workers, and they're here to stay for a long time, and you just need to check them out on their website, amarkmetals.com. We'll bring back Rowdy, or we'll bring Mr. Michael Clark back in just a little bit. We'll talk to them as the program unfolds. I want to appreciate Representative Dodie Horton for coming on with us a few minutes and talking a little bit about the surplus that we kind of knew was coming anyway. All right, big story. This story here, just like the surplus, Alan Seabaugh is in the house. Representative Seabaugh would visit with him as well. But this story right here is taking on a whole new meaning. This gentleman right here, we had him on the other day. We kind of want to get updated. Billy Weatherall. Am I saying it right?
Yes, sir.
Weatherall. Okay, I want to make sure I get that right. Billy Weatherall. As you know, he's got a place called Christ Fit Gym.
Yes, sir.
And he had an opportunity to buy just like any other good businessman, buy a sign at Benton High School on the football field, and he did. And it's been there for a year or so. And then he comes back the second year, and then the freaks come out, far as I'm concerned, the leftists. Now all of a sudden that's a bad thing. So the first football game, they sort of sprayed over Christ, I guess is what they sprayed over. And the community has really rallied around what's going on. So with that, because there are people that don't know the story, there are people that have heard this story, but they want to know updated. Tell us a little bit about what went on and what's going on, and then we're going to get into what's really happening behind the scenes.
Yes, sir. Well, the logo was removed off the football field, and it fell into the hands of our school board. So our school board.
Tell them why it was removed.
It was removed because there was a complaint on the football field that the cross was offensive to a group of people or to someone, and they just took it off. They notified someone that morning. I got a phone call. They said, Bill, look, we've been told to remove the cross off the field. What do you want me to do? And I told.
And the school board, by the way, you're going to talk good about the school board, but the school board basically made a decision for
yes,
you.
Sir.
Yes, for Benton and within a deal. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I got a call. Hey, they're going to remove it. What do you want me to do? I said, look, I know what I'm going to do. You do what you got to do. I got off the phone and I prayed immediately. And I just said, God, tell me what to do. Give me wisdom here. And made a phone call to Senator Ryan Gaddy. I told him, I said, Ryan, at all costs, I want that cross back on the field as soon as possible. And he did. He made sure that the school board, it fell into the school board.
So for the one game, though, they didn't have it?
For one game,
okay,
yes, sir.
Okay.
Only one game. The school board said, Bill, we stand behind you on this. And within days, the school board was going to vote. And I'm on my hands and knees, and I didn't want to. I'm friends with a lot of people on the school board. I didn't want to be betrayed. You know, if you tell me you're going to do something,
sure,
do it.
Sure.
And every one of those men and women voted to put it back on the field.
So the school board basically made a decision that we're going to stand with you. We're going to stand behind your name, the Christ Fit Gym. Everything's going back on there. And that's very, very important because what's happening, and I think I told y'all that earlier, and you probably knew this before I said it, what's happening around the country, these ACLU-type hate organizations, that's what they are. They hate anything Christ, anything Christian, anything wholesome, anything good. They go in and they sue these school boards. School boards don't have a lot of money. They really don't. I mean, they don't have a lot of money. So what happens is they get in a bind with a lawsuit, and they know that if they lose, they're going to have to pay court costs, lawyers. They got to pay their lawyers. That's how these guys make money, and so they bail out a lot of times. So for the Bossier Parish School Board to do what they did, I know they made you remove it, but they also, because of the help of the community, and I'm sure you can talk about that, they said, nope, we're putting it back on. That is really big in this day and time in the country we live in. That's
yes,
a
sir.
shame. We shouldn't even have to do that, but it's a shame. But they really stood behind you, and the community really has.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they're elected officials. They said, Bill, if we voted to keep it off, why are we elected officials when this community is standing behind this? And I want to clarify, it's not about standing behind me or Christ Fit Gym. I mean, it's about us standing behind Christ, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a stand. We're not going to be pushed around, and that's it.
Well, no, but talk a little bit about the rally from the community. You've kind of been overwhelmed.
Yes, sir. Been pulled in a million different directions, but 99% of the community is behind this thing. And Bill, you can't back down. Don't back down. You have you kind of got the banner on this one.
By the way, I'm gonna make, you didn't bring this up, I will. You're an Army veteran too.
Yes, sir.
You've been through the fight. You mentioned last time you've had friends shot and killed, and you've been in war. You understand warfare.
Yes, sir.
You've been there. By the way, thank you for the service. But
yes,
you've been there and done this. But you look at this fight. I'm sure you're puzzled. You go over there in another country and fight, and you come back over here and you start a business, and you got people that disagree with it because it got Christ on it.
Yes, sir.
And which is ludicrous. You know, this whole country was a Christian nation. I say was because I think we're post-Christian. I do. I think that's why we're battling this stuff. But the problem is we usually quit. And I can see in your eyes you're not going to quit. And I can tell you the community's not going to quit.
Yes, sir. If men and women go outside of this building right here and they burn the American flag, I'm going to take offense to that because I've had men spill their blood for that flag, and it's personal to me. When you tell me that you're going to remove the cross off the field, if you're going to take Christ off the field, it's personal to me because that was my friend that died on the cross for me.
Absolutely.
And I will stand, and I'm behind Christ. I mean, what am I doing? Why do I do Christ Fit Gym if I'm not willing to take a stand for this? This is what God has called me to do, and I'm not calling for support from this community. I'm calling for support from the nation.
Let's talk a little bit about that because tell us where the case is now, because it seems like we got a court case. Anytime we got a court case, I tell you money's involved.
Yes, sir.
You know, you got to hire lawyers. You got to do this and do that. So where's that right now?
Yes, sir. Well, it's going to the next level. It's definitely going to the next level.
Well, I mean, it ain't went to court yet.
Right.
We only had a deal with the school board. Have they filed a suit yet?
No, sir.
Okay, so they hadn't filed anything yet, huh?
Yeah.
But you think it's coming?
Oh, it is. I mean, Bossier Parish, the enemy has descended on Bossier Parish today. So it's coming. It's coming.
But
and,
y'all hadn't had any suits yet.
No, we have not, right?
But you think, but y'all, normally they go to court. Like I said, this is when they can start making their money. Okay, so you think that but it hadn't been filed yet. Okay, you're waiting to see what happens. You think there's any chance they run away? I'm gonna tell you, no. I'm watching what's going on with the Kavanaugh case. The left and the hate groups never go away.
Right.
They find a way to make it back. That's why I'm just curious, because the community, and I'm going by what I know and talking to people like Representative Horton and yourself, and I've talked to Aaron, and I've talked to people in the community. The community's not moving, and I wonder if y'all ran them away. I'm just saying that. But if you hadn't run them away, then you will take it to any level you need to take it to, correct?
Right. We're gonna take this to the end. We're gonna fight this to the end. And you know what? Win or lose, God always wins in the end.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I just think it's a noble stance, not only by you, because you had to be the one to say, no, this is going back on. The school board, and then people, just general public, of saying, you know what, this is something that we can fight and rally behind. And that's what you need people to rally behind. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Is there any money being raised or anything to fight this now? And if it is, do you know? I know it's not going to your gym. You have nothing to do with that. I've heard you talk about it earlier. What's happening along that case? Because I'm telling you, it takes money to beat these guys. I hate to say that.
Right.
I wish we could just pray about it and be gone with it. And when that happens, you know, God stepped in and washed them away. He still could do that.
Right.
But if you need money, what's happening on that line?
An organization is being formed right now to take money. And what I'm asking people to do, hey, look, you stand behind this, great. But let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's raise a ton of money. Let's get behind our school board as they fight this. Because we can talk a big talk, but if we ain't willing to walk it.
I'm taking it, though, just listening to you, the suit's not coming necessarily at you now. It's coming after the school board, which what I said earlier in the program, and I told you earlier, that's their angle, because most of the time they look at their money, they look at their money situations, they go, you know, we just can't fight this. Well, you know, you want to have the money, the time, the prayer, and everything that goes into it to beat these people back.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's basically what you do. The good thing about you is they picked on the wrong one. And the reason why I say that is you've been in warfare. This is a spiritual warfare, but it's still warfare. Billy Weatherall is visiting with me. Of course, Christ Fit Gym, I'm giving you pub. He didn't ask for any. Of course, this is a big deal. This is a big deal for – the big deal of this thing, guys, is to me, Billy, is taking the stands, taking a stand and holding the other side accountable. It seems like when it gets tough, we want to run. We didn't win the war. The war's over. But we do have our battles, and you have to stay in the battle. And that's what I want this community to do. Stay in the battle. We're going to win the battle because the war's already won. God won that a long time ago. So, but you got to win these battles. And I think it was sent a message, and I think you said this earlier, this is a lot bigger than you. Okay? God may be using you, but it's bigger than you. But you have to be the one that represents, and then you got all the community and people behind you. And once again, if you go look out, you don't see a lot of school boards willing to toughen up against this. And to Bossier said, I know they took the sign off the first time. They did the same thing that's the normal reaction all over the country is, we don't want this. We don't want that. Just take it off. Just affect you. The community fighting back like this in the school board says a lot. And that's what I'm saying. I hope and pray that y'all will continue to fight. And I think in your eyes, I know I can see in your eyes you're going to continue to fight.
Yes,
but
sir.
you need a school board to hang in there. So that means the community who elect the school board members, they have to be on board too. You can't waver, because I was talking to a gentleman over here. He talked about this being a 2-year process. We don't know at this point.
Right. And what I've been hearing is, Bill, do you know how much money the other side has? Do you know they have 135 different offices? Do you know that they have millions and millions of dollars? And my response to that is, I don't care, because I serve a God that owns.
Remember when you watched the 10 Commandments, and I'm using this example, and they were pressed up there at the Red Sea, I think it was, and he's kind of parted it and said, "Okay, go." You may kind of remember that.
Oh, yes,
the odds were against them. You can't worry about the odds.
Absolutely.
The odds being against you, I just said the war's over. We already won the war. So, but you got to battle. Life is about battling. I had a passage I read the other day. I heard it. Life sometimes is about crisis to crisis. It just is sometimes. But you know what? You can smile and have peace through the whole process. That's the big thing I want to encourage the community. The community, you and your friends in the community and the Bossier, that's the heart of what's happening here. Everybody else that comes back in on the side, I was mentioning a good friend of mine, I'm going to get him involved with y'all. That's the helpers to come, but you guys have got to be the guys standing strong.
We're not going anywhere. We're going to stand. I think a lot about Joshua. I've been reading the book of Joshua, and Joshua saw an opportunity, and he was one of the only spies that said the time to take it is now, and they didn't listen to him. Then years later, Joshua is in charge, and they're marching around the walls of Jericho. And what are you doing? You cannot defeat Jericho. All they did was march around it. He listened to God, and the walls fell.
Well, but I'm saying y'all got to stay strong. The community can't give in.
Absolutely.
They just can't give
I'm
in.
not going anywhere.
And I know you're not, and I just want to the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is the people in general have to get behind the school board and tell every school board member, look, we're going to help y'all. If it comes to raising money, we're going to help y'all. We're going to be there with y'all, because if you run away from the school board, I don't know anybody on the school board. I don't know if Alan Seabaugh is on the school board. I'm just saying I don't know who's on the school board when I say this. People around on the school board, you know, you don't want them to lose faith, because in a battle, you've been to war. I bet there were times if you were fighting like you said you were, that you didn't know if you were going to make it, but you did. So that's kind of what this battle's going to be. It's really going to be a battle for you guys. It's just a fight, guys. I tell you what, I'm proud of y'all for standing up, because most time we just give in and say, okay, well, don't worry about it.
And people are asking, Bill, what do we need right now other than people getting behind this thing and backing it financially? What do you need? Man, I need people in this community. I need people in this nation on their hands and knees praying, because I feel that this is bigger than Bossier Parish. This is bigger than the state of Louisiana. This could cause nationwide revival of just one man willing to take a stand, a community behind that stand, getting behind Christ, standing for the Lord for once, having a backbone, and just saying, we're not going to allow it to happen.
You know, it's amazing. By the way, now football, let's see, I follow high school football. We've already 30% done with football already in high school. It's 10 weeks. Have they played a home game since they removed your logo, basically?
Right, we have not. They were away. I have season tickets to Benton.
Do they play this weekend?
No, they do not. They're coming back next weekend.
Okay, and I was curious, okay, because that's a big deal. And I think what y'all going to talk about lawsuits, I think something's already been filed. When they do it again, and now the thing's on there, is when they're going to freak out again.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know.
Well, the war's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's why I was asking you played a home game since then. So they've been on the road ever since this happened.
Yes,
I guess
sir.
the first game of the week, they were home, or the second game, and then they've been away for the next couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
It's a great story, but it's not just a story. This is happening. This is real. This is real to you. To see, did you go to the game when they sprayed your name off of the end zone?
Yes, sir. I was there at that first game, and I tell you that they can spray paint over the name of Christ. They can spray paint over the cross, but there were more people with Christ Fit gym shirts on, just like I got right now, with a cross on it and Bible scripture on the back. Look, they can spray paint over it, but man, you ain't gonna take
going away.
It ain't gonna work. Yeah.
That's a quick question, and this is about business. Once again, you didn't come here for business. Tell me a little bit about your gym.
All right.
I know it's a workout place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And stuff, but talk a little bit about how do you do it a little different than most people.
I got to start from the beginning. Can I start from the beginning?
Yeah, go ahead. We got a few minutes left. Go ahead. 2006.
I just come back from war, miserable. Man, I got PTSD. I've lost a lot of friends. And one night I just make a decision that, man, life ain't worth living. I pick up a pistol. I got a beer on a Bible. I'm picking up a pistol, putting that beer on the Bible. Man, I'm a second from taking my life. And I looked down at that Bible, and I just started to cry. I said, God, I've heard about you. I don't know who you are. I said, but if you save me, that's October 1st of 2006, I said, I will do whatever you ask of me to do. And he did. The next day, I got a call, Billy, hey, look, come to this Promise Keeper seminar in Dallas. I go to Promise Keeper seminar.
The Promise Keepers, that was awesome.
I give my life to Christ. I've never been the same ever since then. So now I do a free gym. Christ Fit Gym is a completely free gym. God called me after 2006 and 2009 to take on this thing. So I open up a gym that runs completely off donations. We do Bible studies before every class, and everybody's like, Billy, what are you doing? Like, this is insane. Nobody has done anything like this. You have no support. And God just kept telling me yes. He says, Billy, you do it. You do it. So I took a small step of faith. I don't even know if I took a small step of faith. I think God just pushed me off a cliff. I've done it, and God has rewarded me. God has rewarded. The gym has grown. It has grown 5 times since then. And, man, we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to grow. As of right now, I have over 8,000 people that have come in and out of that gym. And I'll tell you something, 8,000 people have heard about Christ.
That's phenomenal. That is an awesome story, man. Phenomenal story. I hope somebody listening today that may be having the same thoughts you have would look back and go, because they can get in touch with you through the gym. God bless, man. God bless. I mean that with all my heart.
Yes, sir.
I think y'all going to win because, well, you already won. Just got to do the battle. The battles are tough, but you just got to take them a day at a time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Amark Metals will be here. We'll visit with him again when we get back from the program. Representative Alan Seabaugh is in the house. He didn't vote for no taxes, so we can talk to him, too. So, anyway, we'll take a break and be right back. Don't go nowhere, folks. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show on the road again in beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Amark Metals manufactures of metal roofing and buildings and things of that nature. And, of course, we're broadcasting here. And if you'll come by, you can register. They're giving away gifts every 15 minutes all the way to 1 o'clock. I think from 11 to 1 they're going to eat and have a good time. So make sure you come on out and visit these folks. This is the type Louisiana businesses we like to brag about, just good people busting their fannies every day to make it happen. We always like to talk about manufacturing right here in the great state of Louisiana where everything starts. So this is one of those true Louisiana companies, amarkmetals.com, 318-752-6600. They're located 3853 Industrial Circle in Bossier City, Louisiana. So if you listen to this program anywhere in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, or Texas, they probably can take care of you. Custom metal roofing. And they do a great job. I've seen some of their work. They had pictures and things of that nature. So you can call them, and they can put an expert on the phone to probably answer any question that needs to be answered. Of course, Michael Clark's joined us. Michael, we're hoping your boss makes it.
Yeah, he should be here any minute now, Moon.
He's the guy that kind of started it.
Yeah, he started it, Rowdy Prince. He started it with architect shop builders. Started off small, kind of a, basic story of this good old boy company trying to go big time, and pretty much already have.
Well, that's Rowdy. Is that a given name or a nickname?
Well, I think that's a nickname he earned.
Well, I can promise you, they name me after a rear end. It's a nickname. Somebody told me that. They said, you named after a rear end. I said, I guess I better not talk about anybody's name. Anyway, talk a little bit about Amark Metals. How long have you been working with them?
Man, I've been here about 2.5, 3 years, Moon.
But you've been in all business. You've been in this business before.
Yeah, I've been in sales my whole life. Even worked for another competitor before coming here, then the oil field, and when the oil field died, I kind of switched back over to the metal industry, and it's been good ever since.
No doubt about it. All right, talk a little bit about what you do, and I'm saying metal roofing, the roofing for buildings and things of that nature. Right. But y'all do a lot more.
We do a lot more. We are our premier deal is a metal roofing manufacturer. Like I told you before, we got the new top of the line premier crinkle product today. We're running it as a special, same price as what our regular panels are. After this, it's going to be 30 to 40% higher. 40-year paint warranty. It's got a Valspar coating on it. Top-of-line product. Of course, we have your regular metal panels, 29 gauge, 26 gauge, standing seam panels, 26 gauge, which is a no exposed fastener system to help prevent leaks.
And we need to let people know, y'all don't put them together. Y'all can help people get them, but you can deliver the materials and everything they need to put it together basically anywhere.
Right. We do not install, but we have local contractors, Louisiana contractors. We've got some Texas contractors out there. Great guys. They buy from us all the time. We got pictures of their work. Highly recommend them, and we can put you in touch with the right person.
Something as small as something behind my house or something on your house all the way to a big building. I mean, you're a couple of days all the way to about 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how big it is and what they absolutely need, which I think is, super fast to get something. Right. Nobody does. Now, once again, the building's not built, but the material will be sitting there to be built.
Material will be on job location. Anything from a doghouse, boat cover, RV cover, storage shed in your backyard.
So I take it y'all have to custom make this depending on what you got.
Yeah, we'll custom draw it out. We got a computer program that'll run the pre-engineered bolt-together buildings. We can go blueprint style. We can go good old-fashioned hand-to-paper style.
I'm just curious how many people you have employed here.
About 15.
Okay. So you got a bunch of people back there getting after it every day.
Yeah, we've got some hustlers behind the scenes.
By the way, you can work in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Arkansas. You're not just designed just for Louisiana.
Yeah, we're not here just for Bossier City or just for Halton, Louisiana. We'll sell anywhere. We try to take care of everybody. Everybody's family here.
That is amarkmetals.com. Your website will take them just about to everything they need.
Correct. That'll get you your phone number, your address, your color charts where you can look at the metal, see what color you're swinging towards, and then come on in and meet with us. And
and I will tell you real quick, if you're out of town, just call them because you got an expert that's going to be talking to them and saying, hey, here's what we can do before you even have to drive into town. But I'm sure, like you said, you're a salesperson. I'm sure if you're a salesperson, what I find about a salesperson, I'm a salesperson, I'll go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody called me from Wascom, Texas today. They want to do some advertising statewide. I'm going.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I'm going.
Give us a call. We'll take care of you. Like I said, 263 on that crinkle. Hey, look, today, tell them you heard it on the Moon Show. Rowdy'll probably going to get mad at me. I'm going to drop it down to 253. We'll give him a better
Ron will
price.
get mad at you, not me.
Yeah, he'll get mad at me, not you. But man, it's if your budget's tight, come see us. We'll work with you. We can make it happen.
No doubt about it. amarkmetals.com, number 318-752-6600. All right, Michael, I'll let you go, and we'll bring Rowdy back when he gets here. Hopefully, when he gets here. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show on the road again in beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. I'm going to bring in Representative Alan Seabaugh, who, by the way, I got some different angles I can go with Alan, being in the legislature, being a representative for years. Alan's one of the guys, and I tell people this, Alan. First of all, good morning, brother.
Good morning. Appreciate you.
I tell people this all the time. Alan's one of those guys that I end up liking. Alan's going, oh, crap. No. What I mean by that is I've been on Alan before. Me and Alan's challenged each other before. There's nothing wrong with that. But Alan keeps coming back, and that's why I appreciate you, because there are a lot of things you do good, too. So first of all, congratulations on voting against all these new taxes that we didn't need, because now we're looking at $300 or $400 million. I predict it's going to be higher than that.
Oh, it will be. The last day of the regular session, when it became, of the third special session, when it became apparent that we were going to lose the vote, it ended up being about 5-vote margin. But you could read the writing on the wall, and some people had flipped, and it became apparent we were going to lose. I walked the floor, and I went up to several, mostly Republican members, and I said, okay, I'm willing to bet you whatever you want. I'll bet $100. I'll bet a Coke, whatever you want to bet, that the surplus is more than the $463 million tax increase, because that was the amount of the bill, was $463 million.
Well, you're close now.
Yeah, I know. I said, the problem was not a single person would take a bet, and the issue was not whether there would be a surplus. The issue was whether there would be a surplus more than the $463 million. So if there's going to be a surplus more than $463, there's absolutely no reason to raise taxes. I couldn't get one single person to disagree with me on that. But they said, well, political pressure, my brother-in-law needs a job, I need a bridge in my district, whatever it was. He cobbled together enough votes, and they passed it by 5 votes. And that's all it was bargaining and gamesmanship.
As you know, it was very disheartening for me. Let me take you back, because I'm curious. You stood there. It was the second special session, I think, and you ran the time out. By the way, I congratulate you. I thought you did a good job. But, and I've been very upset that Julie Stokes acts like she's some kind of conservative Republican. If you look at who the press loves, they love Julie Stokes. Wow, she's got an R by name, but they know she's a liberal. Mm-hmm. And you were sitting there trying to run the time out. What happened in that exchange? Because Stokes was trying to take up for the governor. She was trying to do something for the governor. I keep telling people that, and I want people to realize if they vote for her what they're getting. Now, this is me, not you. What happened in that exchange?
The bill came up, and the bill which let's back up, was blatantly unconstitutional, and it was about a $550 million tax increase. It was blatantly unconstitutional the way it had come through the process. She moved to reconsider the vote. The bill came up, and it failed. She made a motion to reconsider the vote, basically to give us an option to vote on that bill again.
Right at the end of the session. But a few minutes left.
10, 15 minutes left in the session. She made a motion to bring it back up because at that point it was the only thing on the table. And so she made a motion to allow us the opportunity to vote on that bill again. And so she was absolutely trying to help the governor and trying to help the unconstitutional $550 million tax increase bill pass. And so when I got the floor and was talking till midnight, she was standing next to me literally yelling. I got a great picture of it.
I saw a picture. I saw a picture, not from you. Somebody else took of her standing. Didn't get any audio. What was she doing? What was she shouting?
The main thing I remember was she kept saying, "It's on you, it's on you." which is kind of funny because when I got back to Shreveport, my law partners had a big cookie cake made with it said "It's on you" on the cookie cake. So it's good you have some sense of humor about it. But it was essentially she was saying, the session is on you. It's your fault. And I'll take that all day long because it was unnecessary. The tax bill that I filibustered was absolutely unnecessary. The one that ultimately passed was $80 million a year less than the one that I killed. So at its very bare minimum, I saved the taxpayers of Louisiana $80 million a year.
Well, I remember the fight at the end. I remember getting up hollering because she was such an Edwards. I mean, let's just face it. I think you'd be honest, too. She was in with Darn and Edwards and them. She was with them a lot. She was in and out. She met with them. She acts like she's. I read a piece by Jim Beam. Beam said the only reason some people don't like is she supported the 0.45 cent sales tax. I said, Jim's not even close. Jim is there. He doesn't even see the big picture. She's been with them since he got to be governor.
Jim hasn't understood what's going on in Baton Rouge for about 5 years.
I'm going to say 25, but I agree with you, 5 years at least.
It's passed Jim by a long time ago. Jim has absolutely no clue what's going on down there.
I don't think so.
As most of the other media that reports, a lot of them, the Julie O'Donohues and some of those, they have an agenda. They know what they're doing. Jim, I think, is just oblivious. He just takes a shot in the dark every once in a while.
I agree. By the way, that's probably a pretty good
assessment.
Pretty good assessment of what's happening with the media. But no, I bring up Stokes. She's trying to be Secretary of State. I want people to know when she comes tell you I'm a conservative, don't tell her to prove it because, they're voting. There are votes she didn't take. She ran from the votes. Yeah. There were things she pushed for that nobody knew about, that she met with the governor's people. And I think that ought to be – I'm exposing it. I'm not really asking you to, but I'm just telling you, you were there at the end. You know what I'm talking about.
I think Julie's probably the second or third most liberal Republican member of the House. And I don't think anybody down there would even debate that point.
Were you there when they had a caucus meeting when she had first walked in and the first thing she wanted to do was raise the Stelly bill?
Yeah, she's brought it up several times.
That's all she wants to do is raise income taxes on people, which, by the way, if you look at polls, that's the last thing we want.
That's right.
Representative Alan Seabaugh, when we get back, talk a little bit more about the deficit, which you may see coming up in the near future. Representative Alan Seabaugh, my special guest. We are at Amark Metals, amarkmetals.com if you want to check them out. Premier Custom Metal Roofing. They can help you anywhere. They also do the whole metal buildings. All your metal building needs, they have it right here. This is one of those great Louisiana manufacturing companies we talk about. amarkmetals.com. Check them out, folks. You want to do business with people that live in the state. You want to do business with good people, solid foundation. Here it is right here. And they're right here in Louisiana. They can service anybody listening to this. They can service you. So amarkmetals.com. You can find out more about them. The phone number is 318-752-6600. All right, Alan, all of a sudden we hit $300-400 million surplus, and the good government, the big government guys, we need that money. But the bottom line is, and I think you'd agree with me, we knew this was coming. This is not figuring in the internet sales tax. They keep saying oil and gas is going to get better here. I hadn't seen that yet. Maybe it is. I hadn't seen it yet. Just your thoughts on that, because if they would run government tighter, it would be better. This business right here, I guarantee you, is every dime. Your business is every dime matters. But just talk a little bit about that, because you got to be frustrated about it.
The whole thing's been frustrating. And one thing don't lose sight of, if you just look at spending going back to Jindal's last budget in 2015, if we hold spending at those levels, which, by the way, in 2015, no hospitals closed, no universities
closed.
TOPS was fully funded.
Did LSU play?
LSU played football.
Are they still playing?
Yeah, not very well, but
they're playing well now.
They're playing well now, not in 2015. But going back to 2015, if you hold spending at the 2015 levels, when nothing closed and nobody was kicked out of nursing homes, we would have about a $3 billion surplus right now. Had we held spending firm
$3 billion?
$3 billion.
I believe that.
Had we held spending firm at the 2015 levels, because the budget right now is about $7 billion higher than it was in 2015. Some of that's federal money, but a lot of it's not. And we've increased taxes multiple times since John Bell got elected.
By the way, let me give you a number. I got the number at $6.3 billion. Let me tell you how I get there. Number one is it was about $2.8 billion in the first 27 months. Go back and look at the numbers. Then they increased the sales tax for the next 7 years from July on. That's another, I figured it was $3.4 billion, $3.5 billion. That's $6.3 billion. And throw in the income tax that they intercepted that Trump gave us back.
Yeah.
Then you start talking about the internet sales tax. We may be talking about close to $7 billion in new revenue since he came in office. Now, if I'm wrong on my numbers, I wish somebody would show me.
No, I don't think you're wrong at all, because that's one of the things we kept talking about.
What was the number you just used? You just said we were $7 billion above.
And it's about 7. And between the internet sales tax, which may very well be higher than, the internet sales tax is not factored into anything. The Trump tax cut number, they keep using $350 million, but it could be considerably higher than that. We don't really know. They just kind of threw that number out there. We won't really know. And then there's a lot of other oil and gas. Oil's trading, I think, $25 a barrel more than the Revenue Estimating Conference is recognizing. So there's multiple avenues of income coming into the state other than just simply sales tax or increasing income tax. So there's multiple other avenues, and that's what those of us that were saying in the beginning, why do we need to look at sales taxes or look at tax increases? We have these other income streams that are coming in that are going to fill the void. Let's not reach deeper into the pockets of the taxpayers of Louisiana. In the Appropriations Committee this year, Rick Edmonds stood up to the administration, and he projected a $400 million surplus this year. And they scoffed at him and they laughed at him. But go back and look at the film. In committee this year, in the Appropriations Committee, he has the governor's people at the table, and he says, based on the numbers I'm looking at, it looks like we're going to have a surplus in the current fiscal year between $300 and $400 million. And they scoffed at him and told me he didn't know what he was talking about. It turns out he was absolutely 100% correct.
He might be low.
Yeah, he might end up being low. And look, Rick was one of those guys standing with us, never wavered, voted against every tax increase. And when you're looking at a Secretary of State race, when you're contrasting a guy like Rick Edmonds, who stood up for the taxpayers of Louisiana, who voted against every tax increase they came up, who fought to keep your money in your own pocket, contrast that with somebody like Julie Stokes, who spent her entire career trying to dig deeper into your pocket and give more of your money to the government. I think a Secretary of State race is a very, very clear choice to me.
Wow, it's amazing. This is Representative Alan Seabaugh. Alan, it's amazing. I saw an article where Little Richard Carbo, I call him Little Richard Carbo said the reason we're getting all this money is the economy's improving. It's nothing to do with the economy. Well, has absolutely nothing to do with the economy. When you get $352 million plus given to you from Trump because of the way we're set up, what does that have to do with the economy? Medicaid money coming in has everything to do with them cutting the check. And the Medicaid fraud and things that are out there, the governor won't touch.
Won't let us investigate Medicaid fraud. Every time we try, he cuts it off at the knees. And the only person we have out there fighting Medicaid fraud is Jeff Landry, doing everything he can, and he's doing a fantastic job.
And they beating the hell out of him when the press was.
But he's doing a fantastic job of again, trying to protect the tax dollars of the people of Louisiana so that we don't have government digging deeper into our pockets. If the economy, if there's any benefit to Louisiana because of the benefit of the economy, it's not because of anything the governor's doing. No. It's because of Trump and what's coming from national.
Because they gave tax breaks to corporations and the people. But the people didn't get their money.
And they cut regulations. Don't forget, they cut a lot of burdensome regulations that allows businesses to go ahead and investigate.
I think you made a good point when I see Little Richard and them say this. Let them tell us what made that bad. You know what they'll tell you? Well, we stabilized the government's budget. You took money from us. What about stabilizing this company's budget?
Now, when you have a state like Texas right next door to us they have 1,000 people a day move into the state of Texas.
Wow.
1,000 people a day, and they're moving out of Louisiana, and all you have to do is look at the two governors of the two states and see why.
Let me take a break. Amark Metals, amarkmetals.com. We'll visit with them folks when we get back as well. So taking a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. We are in beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. You know us, we like to brag about Louisiana companies. We happen to be at a manufacturing company called Amark Metals. We've been here the whole day. They're having a big giveaway. You come by, you can register. They're giving away something every 15 minutes. They're located here in Bossier City, 3853 Industrial Circle. They're going to be here y'all going to be here all day, but about 1 o'clock, I know they're going to be eating and enjoying life, and so you're welcome to come out and visit with them. And, of course, they had a gentleman here. I finally got the main man on, Mark. He did a great job, by the way, I got to tell you. Rowdy Prince joins us, who's the owner. Rowdy, first of all, nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, sir.
It is. Matter of fact, we ain't going to talk about who we were talking about because names can get you in trouble, brother. But it is good to see you. All right, Rowdy, and I didn't get a chance to talk to Michael about it, but How'd you start the business? I mean, this is something you started from the ground up. They said it's about 10 years old, so that says a lot about your company.
Right. A little over 10 years old. I started out actually building pole barns, buildings with another sister company, Architect Shop Builders, and decided I needed to be able to control the quality of the metal and decided to roll form metal for myself. About 2 years into it, we decided we would sell to other customers.
By the way, is this something that you started out of the back of your house or a building you had, or did you have there are a lot of them start like that.
Right. Actually started in a pole barn over at our old location, and then we were fortunate enough to grow and run out of room 2 years ago. We purchased the old TRW Halliburton building there in industrial in Bossier, and went from 12,000 foot to about 30,000 feet. So.
Oh yeah, well you needed the growth. It was starting to happen for
yes,
you.
Sir.
But now, and I was talking to them earlier. You just don't sell just in Louisiana, this area. You can really go anywhere with your products, and you can get them to any place anybody needs them.
That's correct. We just actually sent an 18-wheeler load of panels to northern Arkansas. So if you need some metal and you know about us, we'll deliver.
Yeah, and you know, y'all do residential, you do commercial, so really nothing's, I'm going to say this, nothing too small and nothing too big.
Nothing's too small, nothing's too big. Matter of fact, the customers that we have, they can come in and try to get 2 screws, or they can give us an order for the whole building.
Let's say I figured that it was like that, because you got a retail place. When people come in, I know they've been in and out, and they've been talking to people, and so in other words, somebody has this a maintenance deal they want to do themselves. You may have some parts they can come pick up. Somebody wants to build a really big building. You can do that too. I'm just going to ask this question. You may not know off the top of your head, but what's the biggest building that you've ever done? Do you even have a cook? And by the way, I know y'all don't actually put the buildings together. Y'all got contractors and people that can do that for people, though.
Correct. They've probably about 30,000 feet is the largest one, but we've sold components for buildings even larger than that. So.
Wow, no doubt about it. By the way, we're talking to Rowdy Prince. The name of the company is Amark Metals. You can go to their website, amarkmetals.com. Rowdy, you don't know me too well, but I love promoting Louisiana businesses because I tell people, buy local. If you can't buy local, try to find something in the state. You know, with the website, and the reason y'all got a web page is to let people know that you're here. But you can find just about anything in the state of Louisiana. And I know there's competition, but you guys compete pretty good on what you've been doing, because I've met a lot of you people here. You got a lot of quality people here. They like doing what they do.
Yes,
and they told me because you weren't here all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
Hey, that's right. Been blessed with the team that we've built here. Everybody's been here a pretty good bit, and it's kind of grown with the company. And, of course, with the growth, we've added new people. But that's, I think, the whole key to the whole business is the people we have working here.
Well, no, you got to have the right people.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Just meeting some of the guys and ladies that I met, I mean, they've been getting after it since I got here this morning.
Yes,
they asked
sir.
me to move out of the way 3 times, so that makes you feel better.
Yes, sir.
I kind of confiscated a desk over here, brother.
Yes, sir. We're one of the few companies. Most of the other metal manufacturers and people that roll form metal have anywhere from a 3-day to a week waiting period. A lot of times we can process that order the same day.
We were talking about that earlier, about how quick you can get stuff to people. Maybe a little longer if it's some big building like you talked about, but even with that process was a lot quicker than most people.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing different, if I may ask, without telling a secret, that you can get stuff out as quick as you can? Because that's really quick in this business.
Yes, sir. Well, we put the equipment we put a slit to width, cut to length line that increases our productivity and the quickness of it. And really the guys out there just stepping up and doing what it takes to get the job done. If they need to stay late or stay overnight, we'll do whatever it takes to get that customer.
But you don't run 24 hours, but you run whatever it takes to get the job.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And by the way, I want to mention, because people do hear us in Texas and Arkansas, Mississippi, and most of Louisiana. So we wanted to let people know you do ship out. I think Michael just told me I had a job there. Maybe you just said a job in Arkansas. Y'all just sent some stuff to.
Correct. Yes, sir. We have a fleet of delivery vehicles. We do our own deliveries. We don't have to depend on third party to deliver. Have a fleet of flatbeds and 18-wheelers. And so whatever the size of the job, if they need to put it in a truck and deliver a box of screws, or if they need to deliver the whole job.
Me and Michael were joking earlier. I said, now, look, don't call here. When we say 2 or 3 days delivery, it's not 2 or 3 days. We have it built for you.
That's correct.
I thought
correct.
You show up with the metal and they go, all right, where are you going to have this built in the next day or two? And you're going, that ain't what we do. But y'all explain all that to people. If they'll call, get on the number and call or go to the website and talk to professionals here, people that have been around. Y'all going to explain that to people, how it works, how it operates. Because if you're sending something to, say, Lafayette, Louisiana, you may want to find a contractor that understands this kind of stuff. And I guess they'll get in touch with you guys and figure out what you're sending and all that stuff.
That's correct.
Because metal buildings, I'm telling you, to me, that's a hot item. People,
metal buildings,
they go up quick, and you can make them real big. And you can insulate them. There's all kind of stuff you can do in metal buildings that, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, I don't think you can do it, and you couldn't do it as quick, I know.
That's correct. And then a lot of it also is metal roofing. So a lot of our business is metal roofing. We've got 3 profiles, standing seam, R panel, and what we call rowdy rib ag panel that's used on residential and commercial roofing. When
I was in Alaska early in the year, there was no wooden houses, brick houses anyway. Not wooden, they were wooden houses, no brick houses. But I did notice that they did have a lot of metal roofing in Alaska. Is metal roofing something that people are doing more and more this day? Or are they just doing it to put over a house or over a camp or over a trailer or whatever? Are people actually doing metal roofing now?
They're doing.
I'm talking about residential more than anything else.
Residential is really growing. A lot of reasons. One, it's getting where the cost of metal is getting real competitive and sometimes even cheaper than going with asphalt. If you have the big 3 insurance companies, they'll give you a reduction in your insurance for a better fire rating. A house with a metal roof takes.
Well, I knew there had to be some angles on this because I'm seeing more and more of them every day.
Yes, sir. And then with all the new paint systems, the paint and the colors, more variety of colors, and the colors last a lot longer.
Is that what you were talking about earlier with the colors? 40-year guarantee or something like that?
Yes, sir. 40
that's a long time. Now, I would think somebody that's like a camp, people doing stuff in the wood, I know men, that's something you don't want to mess with is roofing. So I would think, y'all, that would be a big business for you. Any kind of camp, anybody that's out in the woods, anybody that's out where it's hard to get stuff in and out. And you think about a roof and shingles and things of that nature, and a storm comes through and the limbs are flying around hitting it, you would think a metal top a metal roof would be really big.
It's really big. a lot, it holds up to storms and a lot of wind, way better than the shingles.
Yeah, and by the way, you're not cutting shingles. You're just being honest about your company,
about
your business and things you do. So basically, everybody's a potential customer because you do residential, you do commercial, you do everything in between.
That's correct.
So it's not hard to get in touch with you guys, and if they'll get in touch with y'all, I tell people go to the website, amarkmetals.com. The phone number and all that stuff will be on there. It'd be easy to get in touch. You can go through and check everything y'all got going on, and they pick up the phone and call, and then that's where it all starts. So they can do that today. We'll be here until 11 o'clock for one more segment, but you guys will be here every day. I'm taking it Monday through Friday. Y'all open for retail. People can come in.
Yes, sir.
And you're working back there shipping every day.
That's right.
Rowdy Prince.
Yes, sir.
Nice meeting you.
Yes, sir.
Friend.
And I'd like to tell all of our customers, appreciate all your loyalty and looking for new customers, and both myself and my family and all my employees and their families appreciate all of our customers.
All right, brother. And looking for new ones every day.
Yes, sir.